Hello, here I will show how my application is working. So this is the main page. I have created a user for an example purposes. So we will write the username, in this case is an email, and the password. The email is u1 dot u1 and the password is u1 also. So we have two options. One is sign in and register new user. First of all, we will sign the user. I will show you all the options that we have in the application, and later we will register new users and new followers. So signing in, we enter to the main page where we can introduce the glucose levels and some questions like if the user is hungry, tired, feeling sick, rushing on, or did administer insulin. In this page we have several options. The first one is the blood glucose level. We can put, for example, 150 and select that we are tired, we're hungry, and we have administered insulin. So we push the submit button and the check-in is saved in the local, the SQLite database and the remote server. So here we have a navigation drawer with several options. This check-in, set an alarm, that we can add several alarms. In this case, a summary chart is a chart with the latest check-ins, the people that we are following as user, and the personal information. So set an alarm allows us to add a new alarm. We will select 10 p.m. and 50 minutes. So we were asked if we want to add a new alarm. We will cancel it. If we want to add a new one, we push add a new one and select an hour again. And we have a summary chart. Summary chart have a graphic chart that shows us the last check-ins. In this case, we only have 3 check-ins: 100, 100, 150 blood glucose levels and the dates. So we have another option. Okay, here we are following user 2, and we were asked about another user that wants to follow us, but we will show an example later. If we push over a follower, we can see the chart and also the latest check-ins. I will show it later. So the last option is personal info. Here we have our personal info, the first name, retrieved from the web service, last name, birth date, medical number, and alarms. These alarms are set before, and that's it in this option. So we will leave the application and enter again. Good. So we're in the login screen again. Here we will create a new follower. So we need to push register new user. We're asked for username, first name, last name, birthday, medical number, email, and password. And in this case, we need to introduce this information if we are users. So if we are follower, we need to select this one. We only have a username and an email of the user to follow. and we also have requested an email and a password for this follower. So we'll introduce the username, follower 1, okay, and the email user to follow is the email of the user that we checked before. It's u1 okay. Here we need to introduce the username and the password. And the password will be before we set an alarm to remind us that we need to make a new check-in, and here we have, okay, I will here in my notification, please check in blood glucose measurement is the second one. If we push it, it will open the request dialog, but I will continue with the register. Okay, so we need to push the sign in, and we entered to the main screen. So here we have an option to add a new follower, and in a menu we have a personal information and a following, the people that we are following. In personal information we only have who the person is following. In this case we follow the user 1, and is the data that we introduced in the page before, in the register page. So the following page is blank. We introduced user 1 in this page, but user 1 did not accept the request yet, so we will go to the login page and we will select it again. We will enter in user 1 information, and I will show it how it works. Okay, so here we have the login page again. And we have entered again to this page. If we select in the navigation drawer following, we are requested, we have a request from follower 1 that wants to follow me, in this case the user 2. So we push yes, and right now the follower, can see our information. I will log out again and log in as follower 1. Let's sign in, and here we have the user 1 that accepted our request. If we push over user 1, we can see the graph. This user have in the database the last measurements and the graph. When a user introduces a new check-in. This check-in is saved in SQLite database in the telephone and also sent to the remote server. When we push over the user as followers, we retrieve all this information from the remote server. And if we push over the information in the local phone, for example as user, we retrieve this information from the SQLite database. So, 1 second. So we are again in the login screen, and we will register a new user. Okay, the information request is a username, first name, last name, birthday, medical number, email, and password. So our user will be user1, user1 again, and also user1. So the birth date 1 10. Okay, 110 2000, and medical number will be number 1, for example. Oh, sorry. Okay, we're a user. Our email is user1 1.com, and the password is user1. So we push the sign up button and we enter to the main page. Here in following we don't have any data, so we can also add user1. Okay, the follow is added, so we're waiting for user confirmation. I will enter again to the login page and we will check that the user1 have another request. Okay, I will log as user1. And in following we have the request from the user1. Okay, we'll push yes, and right now I will go again to the user1 to check if we can see information, if we can see users2 information. So here we're again. Let's go. Right now, as user, we have the user1 that we can follow and check all the information. So that's it. This is my application and how it works. Right now it's working against a local environment in my computer, but it's ready to work in Heroku. All the files are prepared. We have a proc file, we have a configuration that depends if it's in Windows or Linux, and this is everything. So